Hi, my name is Kelsey and this is my screencasting for the Flipped Classroom project. Lecture versus homework. Which one do we think works better? Homework is given to kids to take home and do what they have learned in the lecture. But is that always a good idea? Traditionally, the teacher stands in front of the class and gives a lecture. Students take notes. They're assigned homework, they go home, and typically they do that homework on their own. Frustration can occur because the lecture was given too quickly. They weren't able to take decent notes. Questions may not have been asked or answered in a easily manner. The flipped classroom is the opposite of this. The lecture for schoolwork is given digitally, whether it's via a YouTube video or PowerPoint slides or any of the other media that teachers have come across with. They're able to look at the media on their cell phones or on computers. They can take notes, they can ask questions, write them down, bring them to class, and then the homework is now given during the class time. So the professor can go around and ask the kids if they needed help with anything. The kids can work on their homework and they're guided through it in a timely manner where they're able to ask questions and work with each other to teach and to learn from the other students. This digital lesson plan that the teacher is providing to the students allows them to rewind, pause, and repeat the lesson if they didn't understand something. The students can take notes and ask questions in the class if they're confused. The teacher allows the students to work with each other in group projects, and that gives time for the student to talk to each other, learn from each other, rather than just getting the lesson directly from the teacher. If the student doesn't understand the homework that they're given to take home, this allows the student to not be punished for it. If the student doesn't understand the lecture during the class in the traditional setting and they go home to work on the homework but they didn't understand the lesson, they can't do the homework. But the flipped classroom allows this atmosphere where the student can work on their problems and ask questions along the way when they're doing their examples. For the teacher, it also helps as well. The teacher is able to talk to the students via email if the student has questions. There's more one-on-one time for the student and teacher to work together. There's a relationship between the student and the teacher that is a bond that they connect. They're more readily available to the student to ask questions, whether it's in the classroom or on like a blog or an email. The content is reviewed more than just once, so there isn't just one lesson given. It's being repeated more than one time in the lesson with the teacher digitally giving them, as well as going over it in class with more examples than the student is used to. The teacher is also able to share information with other faculty, parents, and students very easily. The network teacher. We all know that we're all connected to social networks, but there's more than just the social atmosphere of the digitally enhanced world. There are blogs where classrooms can be brought together and students can ask the teacher for help, or other students can reply to their blog and help each other along the way. They're able to share more examples. If one student doesn't understand something, they can let the professor know, hey, I'm needing help on this part, and the professor can email them more examples and work through it together. There's iChat, there is Skype, where you can talk to the teacher and work through lessons. So which one is better? Which ones do students and teachers prefer? Does it necessarily work for all students? I'd like to address the last question I had first. I don't necessarily think that the flipped classroom works for all students and works for all dynamics. Not all of the kids are exposed to nowadays to a media with computers or cell phones. Some may not be able to afford it. Some may not have that accessibility. My experience when I was in college, I would take my computer with me to class and I would record the lecture all along the time of taking notes. So I could go back and listen to the lecture when I got home and read, compare, and contrast. If there was something I missed because the professor was moving too quickly, I could pause the lecture, take more detailed notes, which is something that I learn easier on. I feel that this helps the students with any questions they may have. I did not understand something the professor was saying, so I emailed them, and they were able to get back to me whether it was in class the next day or whether they emailed me back immediately. Do teachers prefer this better? Do students prefer this better? I think it really depends on the person. If you're a person who's not technologically savvy, you may not understand. It may be harder for you to learn the lesson on your own on a computer or a cell phone. But some students may prefer it because they're not interrupted by other students in the class asking questions when they understand it already. So which one's better? I think it's up for you to decide. I really do believe that our world is moving towards a technologically advanced learning environment, but it's up to you.